How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts, and today I'm going to be going over my recap for UFC Vegas 93, Perez versus Tyra. Kind of just go over the card. I'm going to do this all in one take because, honestly, I don't think this card deserves anything else. We start with the main event, Alex Perez versus Tatsuro Tyra. Pretty even fight for the most part. I gave the first round to Alex Perez. What I learned about Tatsuro Tyra in this fight is that he's able to eat shots, and his grappling is top notch. For his wrestling defense, his grappling defense, and just his overall grappling in general. I mean, that back take was nuts, and that takedown he got, even though it injured Alex Perez, was fucking beautiful. His striking still needs work, especially his striking defense. He kept trying to go for tie clinches throughout the fight, and kind of just kept getting hit over and over again with hooks. Did he get outstruck in this fight? He got outstruck in the first round. He didn't get outstruck in the second, though. It also seemed like whenever Tatsuro wanted takedowns, he got takedowns. I think he went 2 of 2 on his takedown attempts. Alex Perez was able to get him down, but Tatsuro got up almost immediately using beautiful butterfly hooks. Butterfly guard, rather. Yeah. Not the type of win I wanted to see from Tatsuro, because we still don't know how good he is, because he won by injury, but he did look decent in this fight. I would have rather seen him go a little bit longer and not seen Alex Perez lose to injury. I'd rather, even though Tatsuro, I think he would have gotten the sub in that position, if I'm being honest. The way he had hand control, wrist control on the takedown was insane, but I think he still would have won, but I'd rather see him win by submission than see Alex Perez blow his entire fucking knee out. So, also, it seemed like the commentators were blowing Tatsuro Tyra in this fight. They were glazing the shit out of him. But, yeah, let's move on. Co-main event, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Miles Johns. Boring fight. Nothing really happened. Very low output from both guys. No one really took the initiative to try and win the round. It was mostly just Miles Johns got outstruck in the first round. What was the control? Let me pull up ESPN and see, because I feel like he had to have had a lot of control time if he got outstruck in that first round to win the round. How much control time did he have? Oh, he had 5 seconds. So he got outstruck in the first. Yeah. The fight was close. I probably would have leaned towards Miles Johns, but I can understand Douglas did outstrike him in the first. The second round, Miles Johns really fucking outstruck him, though. Very boring. Miles Johns, I'm still not bought on the idea of him being a good fighter. I don't care. Yeah, he won, I guess. I don't know. Let's move. Featured fight. Timmy Kwamba versus Lucas Almeida. Man, Timmy Kwamba is able to take a lot of punishment. He got knocked down, 3 times in this fight? They only gave him 1 knockdown? That's bullshit. I remember Timmy Kwamba going down at least twice in that first round, and I think he got knocked down a second time. Not a third time in the second round. Yeah, Timmy just kept getting clipped, circling against the cage, is what it is. He really tried to pick it up in the third round, was able to do a lot of stuff in the third, but it was way, way too late for him to be able to mount any offense. Lucas looked decent, I guess. I still think his grappling is shitty. I think Timmy Kwamba just had a weird game plan going into this fight. I thought he would have been more explosive. He had the speed advantage. It's just Lucas was able to counter him pretty good. So Lucas Almeida, his striking did look better. His counter ability looked good, but besides that, we move. Brady Hiestand, Garrett Armfield. Probably one of my favorite fights on the entire card, if I'm being honest. Dog fight. Like I said, guys are both are junkyard dogs. Brady Hiestand had many moments in this fight. He had so many sub attempts. He had 3 sub attempts. I honestly thought the one at the end of the first round, it was under the chin. I have no idea how Garrett Armfield was able to get out of it. The second round, Brady Hiestand took a shit ton of punishment. How many punches did he outstrike with? I mean, dude, 48-17. Yikes. And he got the knockdown. He almost set out Brady Hiestand. I wanted to pick Brady Hiestand in this fight because I know how durable he is. But I was like, Garrett Armfield, he looked good against Brad Katona. If Brad Katona's not able to really control him, I don't think that Brady Hiestand's going to be able to control him as well. But he was. He found his positions, and he ended up finding the sub in the third round. Yeah, Garrett Armfield looked a little tentative in the first round. Was getting hit by some shots and was whiffing quite a bit. I wasn't expecting that. But Brady Hiestand, his striking is still very open. So he can still get hit a shit ton. But Garrett Armfield just wasn't able to capitalize as much as I wanted him to. But it is what it is. I think Garrett Armfield still... I think both of these guys are still good prospects. I'll watch out for both of them. Yeah. I just... Man, I'm happy for Brady. We move. Asu Amabea versus Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson's 6 foot at flyweight. For what, dude? For what? I'll be honest, the first round had me a little worried. Jose Johnson, he didn't get taken down in like the first 2 minutes. Asu was kind of struggling on the outside due to the front kicks. But after that, it was all fucking peaches and cream, dude. Peaches and fucking cream. Jose Johnson couldn't do shit. He got ragged all the shit ton by Asu. Asu was dominating every position. My dad texted me during this fight like, dude, this dude Asu Amabea's legit, right? And I was like, yeah, dude, he's pretty legit. So, Asu, one of my favorite flyweight prospects. I like him a lot. Jose Johnson, go back up to bantamweight, dude. You're 6 foot. Fight at a weight class where you can actually, don't have to be malnourished going down to the weight. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got guys that are 5'4" ragdolling you, you need to fucking work on something. We move to the main card opener, Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugit. I didn't really watch this fight, if I'm being honest. I was kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye. When I'm looking at strikings now, it seems like Adam outstruck him in round 2 and 3. I saw a lot of people saying robbery. I said robbery. Because from what I was watching, it seemed like Josh Quinlan was just landing the better shots in rounds 1 and 2. But I didn't know that he got outstruck by 11 strikes. All significant, too. From what I remember, Josh Quinlan had Adam bleeding, though, in the second round. I thought he gave him a massive cut. Who really gives a shit? Let's be honest. Who cares? Fucking. Both of these guys are not that great. I would have probably scored it to Josh Quinlan. I understand giving it to Adam Fugit now. I might delete that tweet if I'm being... No, I'll leave it up. I'm not a pussy. But Adam Fugit, I still don't think he's good. I don't think he's good at all. I thought, in my picks and breakdown, I said that there would be many openings that resemble the Jason Witt-Josh Quinlan fight, where he would run in throwing a fucking kick and get clipped for it. And there were moments like that, but Josh Quinlan just wasn't able to capitalize. So, Josh Quinlan lost. It's fucking dreadful. We move to the featured prelim, Jimmy Flick versus Nate Maness. To be honest, I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. I was at my friend's house for this fight card. I didn't watch all the fights. I didn't have a full, keen attention on every fight. This was one of them. I thought Nate Maness was going to win this easily, but it looked like he had kind of a struggle with Jimmy Flick, so I don't know what that means for him in his career. In my opinion, that's no bueno. Damn, he outstruck him pretty well, though. Jimmy Flick looked ass. Of course he did, because he's Jimmy fucking Flick. He sucks. But Nate Maness didn't look all that great either. He clearly won the fight, from what I imagine. Yeah, he clearly won the fight. He outstruck him every round. Jesus. How much control time did Jimmy Flick have? He had to have 2 minutes. Nate Maness had more. Jesus. Yeah, Jimmy Flick just isn't good. Isn't good. I would rather see Nate Maness win this by finish, though, because it's, Jimmy Flick. He has more knockout losses than decision losses. But he wasn't able to do that. He looked kind of sloppy on the feet from what he looked stiff a little bit from what I was watching. So, yeah, not a great fight. We move. Carly Judice versus Gabriela Fernandez. I saw a lot of people saying robbery for this fight. I didn't watch this fight. I was outside. I was fucking hanging out with my buddies. I wasn't paying attention in this fight. I saw a lot of people saying robbery. I don't have an opinion about this fight because I didn't watch it. From what I saw, a lot of people gave round 3 to Carly Judas, which, from the striking numbers, Jesus fucking Christ, 79 significant strikes to 35. Rounds 1 and 2, on striking numbers, look pretty close. Carly outstruck her in round 1, and she got outstruck in round 2, though. I'd have to watch this fight. I'll get back to you guys on this one. No, I won't. I don't care. But, I thought Carly was going to grapple more. From what it looks like, she didn't really try and go for takedowns outside of round 2. She went for 1 in round 3. How much control time are we talking here? Gabriella had more control time. Wow. Yeah, Carly Judice, she's a cardio freak. She had more strikes landed in round 3 than any other round. She had 82 total strikes landed in round 3. Holy shit. She kind of put a beating on her. But, yeah. I like both of these ladies. I think they're both decent. In one fight of the night, so I imagine it was the best fight of the night. That's not that hard to beat with the fucking card that we were dealt with. But, anyways. We move Jekka Saragi versus Weston Wilson. Weston Wilson won. He won by submission. Jekka, first of all, fake glove touched Weston Wilson. That made me want to see him lose. Weston Wilson still looks very hittable on the feet, which is not good. It's not a good thing. He got his takedowns. He got the fight to the ground. And Jekka Saragi, for some reason, I don't know what it is about this Indonesian fuck. It looked like he wanted to get subbed in this fight. It looked like he wanted to get submitted in this fight. From what I saw, he kind of just he didn't do 2 arms in, 2 arms out against a guy like Weston Wilson, who has how many fucking wins by submission? I mean, Jesus Christ. I think almost every win of his. No, that was Jimmy Flick. I think Weston Wilson has a shit ton of wins by submission, though. Does he not? Yeah, 12 wins by sub now. That was his 12th. So, take with that information what you will. Neither of these guys are good. I thought Jekka's explosiveness would help him out in this fight, and it did for about 2 seconds, and then Weston Wilson just kind of got a hold of him. And Jekka kept overthrowing and whiffing on shots, and that led Weston Wilson to get takedowns. So, it was a decent double leg what Weston hit him with. So, yeah. We move. Melquizael Costa versus Cheyenne Nerdembeki. More of a grappling match than what I thought it would be. I had this fight 2-0 Melquizael Costa going into that third round. Cheyenne legit did nothing in rounds 1 and 2. He legit did absolutely fuck all. He had outstruck 31-9 and 31-7 in the first 2 rounds. I'll tell you this about Cheyenne. His strength looked pretty decent in this fight, though. He looked very strong. But Melquizael Costa, you could just tell he was better, technically, grappling than Cheyenne Nerdembeki. So it was kind of like a weird dynamic where Melquizael looked better, but Cheyenne was just stronger. Which, I mean, I'd hope he's strong. Look at him. He's a fucking ball of muscle. But, not a lot of striking happened in this fight. Whenever it was striking, Melquizael looked better. He looked fresher, way fresher in this fight. He was landing kicks. In the third round, you could tell Cheyenne was just tired. He was going for takedowns. He ended up giving up his back to Melquizael in the third round and ended up getting tapped with a... It was more of a neck crank than a rear naked choke because it was on the jaw. But Melquizael had good squeeze, and I'm happy to see him win. I love me some Melquizael Costa. He's a badass. Cheyenne drops another one, but it is what it is. We move to the first fight of the night, Josephine Knudsen versus Julia Polastri. Yeah, Josephine, she won. Julia had the best moments of the fight, I'll say. At the end of the first round, she had the top mount with reigning ground and pound. But Josephine, throughout the fight, you could just tell there was such a difference on the feet, technically speaking. Josephine was just lighting Julia up, and Julia really couldn't do much, which I figured would happen because Julia is slow and looks lazy on the feet. Josephine's grappling is a bit of an issue. Julia got every takedown that she shot. But Julia, at a certain point, stopped doing a lot on the ground, and Josephine really couldn't get up. It was a weird dynamic where Josephine had outlanded her so much in the rounds that it kind of didn't matter what Julia did on the ground, because ground strikes do not equal stand-up strikes. They just don't. Especially the strikes that Julia was throwing. Besides round one, which the ground and pound, she landed like a couple good elbows. She also damaged up Josephine's, I think, right eye. But besides that, she didn't really do much. So, yeah. I had Josephine winning. I don't think you can give her every round. I think, from what I remember, I gave her round 3. Because I think that's the round that Julie had the most control in. But, yeah, I thought Josephine just won based on damage. So, yeah, UFC Vegas 93, not the greatest card. It wasn't. Let's be honest, it just wasn't the greatest card. But that's okay, because we have UFC Saudi Arabia to look forward to. As I'm recording this, Cedricos Dumas has just pulled out, so that fight is off. Melsik Bagdasarian also pulled out. He got replaced by Felipe Lima, who's in Octagon, 12-1. Seems like a good prospect. Yeah, I don't know. June's been a weird month, man. This card, a lot of people are saying is the worst card they've ever seen, and I don't think that's fair. I've been around to see. Let me relive Dumont versus Ladd. Or was it Ladd versus Dumont? Let me relive this card. UFC Fight Night Ladd versus Dumont. Let me relive this fucking card. Norma Dumont defeats Aspen Ladd. Andre Arlovsky. Jim Miller, Eric Gonzalez. Okay. Manon Fior, Myra Bueno. Nate Landwehr, Ludwig Klein. Bruno Silva, Andrew Sanchez. Danny Roberts. Ramazan Emiv. Oh, that was a bad robbery. Luana Carolina, Lupita Godinez. Yeah, it was not a great card. How many finishes, though? Because how many finishes were on this card, from what I remember? There was only one TKO on this card, right? Yeah, because sub, decision, sub, sub, TKO. Yeah, so the only TKO on this card was due to injury, and it was in the main event. Again, my biggest takeaway from this card is that Tatsuro Taira is a real fighter. He is a real prospect, in my opinion. I think he poses one of the biggest threats towards Pantoja just due to his defensive grappling. Like, a lot of the guys near the top, yeah, they have good grappling and stuff, but defensive grappling is different. Tatsuro Taira has mastered the art of being a masterful defensive grappler, and that's what I love to see from him. Alex Perez, he tried to get in the clinch and take him down a couple of times. He couldn't do shit. Even when he got Tatsuro to the ground, he legit got up in 7 seconds. It was nuts. So, I wish we would have seen a better fight card. We have Saudi Arabia this weekend, and then 303 afterwards. June was shaping up to be one of the best months, man. I don't think this is the worst card I've ever seen, but it's up there, if I'm being honest. Like, I'll be real with you. It's honestly up there. And also what? I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say, to be honest. I totally forgot. So, I'll leave it at that. If you guys liked the video, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want. I'll try and get one upload in this week that's not a picks and breakdown and recap video. But, if not, then I'll see you guys for my UFC Saudi Arabia picks and breakdown. So, hopefully I see you guys between that, but if I don't, then I'll see you guys then. Peace.